Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Foundation Automotive has assembled an all-star executive management team with the perfect mix of operations specialists and analytical professionals. Foundation Auto is a growing automotive group here in the United States with 33 dealerships. They have 3 in Canada, and the company is looking forward to solid, well-planned growth all across North America. We are very honored today to welcome back Justin Pomeroy from Foundation Automotive. And today with us for the first time on the roundtable is Angela Willoughby. Justin and Angela, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Hi.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us, Ted.
Hey, we have, well, first of all, Angela, we've heard a lot about you and the stuff that you do with Foundation behind the scenes. And before we kind of get into that, Justin, you've been on the program many times. Kind of give us the landscape with Foundation, what you're doing, and what's happening. What are you overseeing, and give us the lay of the land.
We've got 33 rooftops in the United States, with an additional 3 in Canada. Quite a few coming up for closing here in the end of the year, and just trying to keep it all in front of us while maintaining everything behind us as well. Angela is a pro at keeping things in front of me. As we know, we're running really fast every day, and so she's a key integral part of my team on making sure anything that I may miss or anything that is needs to be addressed as far as everything from the website links to operational statistics therein. I mean, she's really taken a lot of different hats and wears them weekly. She participates in all of our weekly warranty calls and KPA as far as making sure that we're functional and doing it in the correct OSHA standards. And we're just basically back to back trying to keep it all together, And I've just recently added an additional gentleman by the name of John Smith to our team as well. He's up in the Dallas market and does a lot of traveling with me as well while we continue to try to grow this company and make it number one contender.
So, Justin, give us a little help with the geography. I know some of it. I probably don't know near all of it. Where are the stores located, and approximately, how many brands, or what are those brands?
I think we've got just about every brand now except Toyota. We've got some Hyundai stores in Colorado, a Hyundai store in Texas. We've got all your big 3, Ford, Dodge, and Chevrolet in Madisonville and Fairfield and Wichita Falls. Mitsubishi store here in the Houston market. We've got a Chevrolet and a Subaru and North Dakota, where all-wheel drives are a must. We've got just recently acquired a group of stores in Tennessee in the Savannah and Humboldt market, or if you call it Jackson, which were all GM, Nissan, Dodge, Ford as well, and then 3 CDJR stores up in the BC Squamish area.
And about how many employees?
You're looking at, technicians and advisors and parts countermen as well. I'd say 120 plus.
Mm-hmm. It's your setup is, Angela, different than a lot of dealers or dealer groups. And Angela, you do a lot of unique things to support Foundation. Tell us a little bit about that, Angela, and what you do.
Well, I am our X-Time admin for the stores that have X-Time, so I handle that account, and then I handle a lot of our third-party vendors, just trying to maintain that relationship and make sure that our needs are being met, their needs are being met, and we're, all on the same page in that aspect. Some of the groups that I've been working with are changing their process based on the stuff that I've implemented with our group. So that's kind of neat to see. I'm all about efficiency. And I manage just kind of help with that relationship with our service directors and managers and make sure that, their needs are being met with Justin and that they're performing. And, I'm just here to support Justin however I can. And then, of course, our fixed ops team, they know that they can reach out to me with whatever they need. Yesterday's project was auditing our Castle Rock Ford website. And that is something that is near and dear to my heart because I can't stand to go to a website and not be able to go to where I want or find the information that I need. So it's imperative that, those types of things are up to par. I live and breathe data. I love it. I love being able to look at a spreadsheet, find the anomaly, and fix it. And I bring stuff to Justin all the time. I'm like, we have to fix this, and he's like, I don't know how, And so we're struggling to find the fix for things, and it's such a great partnership that I have with Foundation and our team, and I thrive here for sure. I'm based out of Colorado, so I get to go see our Colorado stores when they need me and things like that. And it's been a really good relationship.
Angela, go back. Let's talk a little bit about that digital experience for the customer at Foundation. You mentioned the X-Time integration. How important is that digital experience for the customer, who's interacting, for service and parts with Foundation? And tell us a little bit about the background and maybe some of the things that you interact on a regular basis with the dealership managers as well.
So digital is key, right? We're in a digital age for sure. And I would say probably 75% of our clientele are using their cell phones or they're using computers. They're not really wanting to call, but if they do call, we are busy, and it is so difficult to stop taking care of the guest in front of you so you can take care of someone who's trying to come in for service. So that digital aspect is huge. And it's imperative that X-Time is running correctly and everything is set up properly. Like I review our websites for scheduling problems, quite frequently, and making sure that our guests can get in when they need to. And when they can't, I'm talking to the service manager. I'm like, hey, you don't have an appointment for a month. Like, how can we fix that? Because they're going to go somewhere else. And then you're playing that catch-up game to get that guest back. Like, how do we maintain retention, right? It's you build a brand and then you have to build the retention and the loyalty. And those are the key factors, right? So I think X-Time, scheduler integrates really well with our websites, and you can go to the website and you can, schedule your vehicle pretty seamlessly. And I think without those two pieces, some dealerships really struggle with getting the kind of clientele that they want in and how they maintain that loyalty, because maybe it's easier to schedule at the dealership 10 miles up the road. And yeah, that's 10 miles further that I have to drive, but I could get in tomorrow. So I think it's imperative that we are constantly reviewing our digital items and making sure that it works for the guest.
Justin, Angela mentioned the spreadsheets and things that she's tracking. I know that a lot of the stores that you've purchased, you've got, for lack of a better term, maybe in the beginning part, some heavy lifting, because it's relying on you to help those stores perform and now outperform other stores. So you've got to get a lot of things in place: personnel, people, process, and so on. What are some of the things that you're tracking on these spreadsheets that Angela is helping to put together?
Sure. In any acquisition, the plan is to do better than they've ever done before, right? That lift, that blue sky that you're looking for down the road, 3, 4, 5 years, earnings multiplied. That's the goal. So to come in and be able to flip a switch and say, hey, this is how you've done business historically, and we appreciate that. And there's a lot to be said about that. But what about this? And let's look at this. And what gets tracked and watched gets improved upon. And so in that we look at presentation of menus, we look at penetration of wearables, fluid cells that we have a national partnership with BG. We have a partnership with Dave Boyle, what those tread depth readers do for us, and who's presenting and who's not only presenting, because you can do a really good job of presenting, but who's closing, who's building that value, that transparency with the customer, and letting them know not only that they need it, but why and what importance that brings to the life of that vehicle, the cost of ownership, and so forth. So she does all that kind of stuff when it comes to, penetration reports, when it comes to the ability to do business with Foundation as a whole and what that looks like as far as the websites go. We recently started trying Repair Pal and having that piece of transparency as well, that we're not, just a dealership. We're also a fair market competitor against anybody else in that market. So if you want to compare us, but by all means, please do so. I challenge you to, because I'm gonna be fair. And this is a for-profit business, but we want to make sure that we're competitive in all fronts.
I've heard you say that before, and Justin, are the stores, you mentioned, what's measured can get improved. Are they measured against each other? Are there, are they ranked in any way, competitively? Tell us about that.
Some people don't like the fact that I do that, but I force rank everyone. Someone's always going to be in red. That doesn't mean you're bad. It just means, as a whole, and foundation goes, that someone's at the bottom, and that, that builds a little bit of a friendly competition, and competition drives sales. I force rank them on gross per repair order, customer pay, hours sold. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. I try to keep it on fair for all. So, the higher volume stores have an equal swing as the low volume stores. And you'd be surprised, a lot of these low volume stores do a better job with their customers because they don't know when that next customer is coming through. And so each person that crosses that drive is extremely valuable to them. And it shows. You can do just as much with less when you take your time. You build that rapport. You show them the multi-point, and you sell from the green, and it's 100% of the time, every time. It definitely shows on RO value.
Angela, with all the things that you're tracking, you probably uncover things that were unexpected or maybe unintended. How important is what you do to Foundation as a whole, and then, of course, to the stores?
I would like to say that I'm extremely important and irreplaceable. I think it's important to be able to provide data and be able to measure it and provide them a stepping stone of where to go. Like, I never bring a problem without a resolution. Like, it's you have to have a way out of something, right? So it's easy for everybody to point the finger and say, oh, you're failing here. This is where you're failing. And I don't like to do that. I like to say, well, here's where you are. Here's where you could be. Here's what we can do to get there. And while I'm not, in the stores with, the managers on the ground floor, I do have the ability to provide that information to them, get it to Justin and John and say, hey, here's where I think this store could do better. And here's how I think we could get there. I'm all about improving processes, right? Because it's about the efficiency and making something better. And the reason that we measure data is to see if the processes that we are changing and putting into place, to see if it's effective. And so you're constantly doing that. Like, that never stops. It never sleeps. Like, you want to measure something and you want to improve upon it. And then you go back and you're going to measure it again. Wow. So I provide X time, measuring every single Monday. So every Monday, it's where you are. And I will rank them based on their utilization of X time. And X time is such a great product, and it sells itself. And I absolutely love X time. And no, I'm not paid by X time. But I love their invite program for marketing. Like, I'm huge in that. We do a campaign every month outside of our recurring campaigns. And we hit an all-time goal. My goal for marketing this year is $1 million of profit coming in. So we're almost there. And I'm excited for that because that's a personal goal of my own, and, based on my history with X time. And I love that fact. And I did want to say to Justin's point about force ranking and stuff, every dealership that we have has someone in our scope of business that they can compare themselves to. We have Hyundai stores that can compare themselves to same size and manufacturer and Kia and luxury brands. They all have someone that they can compare themselves to and figure out where they're excelling, where they're not. And it's that friendly little competition. We have some service directors who are like, oh yeah, no, I'm taking this one down. Like, I'm going to beat him, even if it's $1, right? They're excited for that $1. So I think that's key to being able to be successful with themselves and the goals that they set for themselves, because they want to beat, the one that they're being compared to. And I think that that's, a good little piece of friendly competition there.
Last question for today. See how quickly this flies by. I'll come to you, Justin, first, and then Angela. Here we are in November. We're halfway through. The holidays are, right in front of us. What advice, Justin, first, would you have for our dealer and manager audience looking after the balance of this year and then into 23? Because Justin and Angela, you see things that others are not privy to. You're aware of things and trends that are happening. What should we be looking at? What should we be concerned about and focused on, for the next few, let's say up to 6 months to a year, Justin?
Well, I mean, September was weird, right? We're coming into November. Looking at the interest rates and stuff, the automobile sales side of things on variable fronts is it's a bit down. These interest rates have kind of driven down the buyers, and so I as usual, I'm happy to carry the weight on our backs and put it on us to take it through and carry the dealership as usual. That's what our whole purpose is just to cover the expenses of the dealership and make a little money on the side. And so I just hope everyone has a great holiday and is successful, and that that we're able to be there for our variable side of the dealerships in this market.
Yeah, it's a changing environment for sure. Angela, I'll give you the last word.
Don't take your foot off the gas.
Yeah.
We're seeing repair order numbers decline. Cox Automotive did a study back in the summer, June, July, I think they published, where we saw a 6% decrease in repair orders across the board nationwide. And that's not going away, right? But people are maintaining their vehicles longer. And it's less warranty because there's not as many new cars out there. So get your guest, your job is to make sure that they're safe on the road. That multi-point inspection is extremely valuable, but it's also how you eat, so retention, loyalty, and take care of our guests, and God, don't take your foot off the gas. Like, keep pushing.
Angela, I'm going to quote that throughout the roundtable. So don't take our foot off the gas. I love that. Angela, Willoughby, and Justin Pomeroy, on behalf of the Fixed Ops community, thank you so much for your time today. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your families, and we appreciate all you do for Fixed Operations, both.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Ted.
Angela Willoughby and Justin Pomeroy from Foundation Automotive here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.